not a YouTuber, just like making videos, and we're going to go into the relationship between blacks and Hispanics. Now, I understand Hispanic is a culture, you know. A black person can be Hispanic just like a white person can be Hispanic. But you know, but when we hear terms Hispanic, Latino, you know what I'm saying, there's certain images that, you know what I'm saying, that conjure up in our minds. You know, it's almost like we have a default setting what a Hispanic looks like. There are people usually with high yellow skin, straight hair, or sort of curly hair, you know, and we know that their nose and eyes are different. You know, they still got the dark brown eyes, but you see what I'm saying, you know, especially, and I understand there's a difference between Hispanics that are off in the islands, you know, Puerto Rico, Costa Rica, and so forth, and Cuba, and then Hispanics that are south of the border. You know, I understand that, you know, when you're dealing with Mexico and Uruguay and Guatemala, places like that, you know what I'm saying, those are Mongoloids. So, you know, I understand. Now, but the thing is, what we consider Hispanics and black people, they're, you know, they're different. You know, I mean, we got two different cultures, and just because, you know, we both may have friction with white people doesn't exactly mean that we're allies. I started to realize that during the funny thing, during the Ice Cube and Cypress Hill beef, when it was the whole black versus brown, you know, and Hispanics, you know, they got their own thing going on. You know, that's the thing. You know, people, you know, a lot of Hispanics don't, you know, particularly like blacks. And also, you know, when you're dealing with somebody from one of the islands there, you know, to refer them as a black person, you know, would be considered a great insult. You know, there was a female that was a Dominican, and I called her black, and she corrected me real quick, and I was like, whoa, I'm sorry, I'll never call you black again. They were like, you know, no, I'm not black, I'm Dominican. You know, I'm not black, I'm Costa Rican. I'm not black, I'm Cuban. They'll let you know real quick, and I'm like, whoa, you know. You know, and that's the thing. I guess they didn't want to have that, you know what I'm saying, they don't, you know, because us black people, we just have an ill reputation, you know, just being at the bottom, and, you know what I'm saying, and such negative stereotypes and things of that nature. Even though black people, we contributed to society and created more inventions, and, you know what I'm saying, and when you're dealing with even sports and things of that nature, you know what I'm saying, the Hispanics really can't come close to us. There's even more black people in college than Hispanics in college. But yeah, you know what I'm saying, us black people, but you know what I'm saying, but let's not mistake any of the Hispanics, you know what I'm saying, for blacks. And a black person is a fucking idiot, you know, if they want to try to have the approval of Latino people. You know, now let's say, where does the Latino people originate from? You know, you got the Mexicans, and that, you know, they're from south of the border, you know, them jungles down there, you know, the islands, you know what we consider Puerto Rico and what used to be Haiti. You know what I'm saying, what was that, Haiti was, what they call it, Ayeta or something like that. You know, you had the Taino Indians. The Taino Indians, the Taino, or however they pronounce it, you know, was completely wiped out by the colonizers, by the Spanish conquistadors. And so therefore, Spain, people like Christopher Columbus, you know what I'm saying, gave birth to a lot of Hispanics. The Puerto Ricans, the Dominicans, the Cubans, you know, I'm like, they wouldn't exist. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, Christopher Columbus is their father. You know, I'm like, it was a mixture between whites and Taino Indians and so forth, but that culture is long gone, you know, in black people, you know. So that's interesting. Also, if we go to the days before colonization, you know, colonialism, you know what I'm saying, what we consider the Mexicans now and the Taino Indians, you know what I'm saying, they didn't have their technical advancements or whatever, couldn't even come close to the Africans. You know, I'm like, you know what I'm saying, the Olmecs, the Africans that came down in South America, you know, I'm like, they contribute to a lot of their architecture and things of that nature. So I don't know why Hispanics consider it shameful, you know what I'm saying, to be called black, because technically they're not a race. They're a mutt race, you know, and so they're just a mixture of a bunch of things. You know what I mean? They don't have a culture that goes beyond Christopher Columbus getting on that boat. I'm like, these are facts, you know. But let's get into it. Now, the thing is with the Hispanics, and one thing I know for sure, they are, especially the ones from the islands, they are more accepted by white people. I'm like, a white girl with racist parents would be better off bringing a Hispanic boy home than a black boy. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, these are facts. You know, and maybe that's one of the main reasons why a lot of Hispanics look down on blacks, because white people, you know, put them, you know, in a better position and so forth. You know, because I've seen it in high school. You know, people who know me, watch my videos, know that I'm an army brat. You know, my videos have a lot of continuity to them. And, you know, and I've been around a lot of white people, you know, and I admit that the white women that date black men, you know, they're usually in a certain category. You know, I would say that they're, you know, mainly in the bottom rung, you know, of white people. And it doesn't mean that they're fat and ugly, you know, that's a misconception, but, you know, a lot of the white women, you know, in the areas I lived in, you know, you're talking about Watertown, Alexandria Bay, Pulaski, and those good areas, upstate New York, which is extremely white. I'm like, it is only second to the whole Virginia area as far as its whiteness goes. You know, and even though there was a lot of interracial dating, you know, there was only like a select cast of white women that dated black men. You know, they weren't the type that usually go to Ivy League college and things of that nature. They're the ones that want to listen to hip hop and so forth. And then you have what we consider the prestigious white females, as if we call them Becky. You know, the Beckys, you know, the Heathers and so forth. And these Beckys would date Hispanic men, but not black men. You know, and there's another reason for it. Now, first of all, Hispanics don't have our, as I stated before, don't have our ill reputation, you know, and so forth. Hispanics are just not considered as threatening as black people. But also, it's because of Hispanics can produce a white child. You know, and let's face it, in this country, race is everything. You know, and it's about what a child looks like. You know, you can say that, oh, well, a child is mixed. His father is Hispanic, his mother is white. But, you know, a mixed person that's half Hispanic and half white, you know, especially going by what we have deemed what a Hispanic looks like, I'm like, they practically look white, or they will be accepted easily in white society. You know, like, you know, think about Ricky Martin. Think about George Zimmerman and so forth. And what is that Bush? I forgot. I can't remember his name. Put his name in the comment section. You have a Bush that is pretty much half Hispanic, but is definitely wholeheartedly accepted in the white community. So therefore, you have to be cautious about Hispanics and so forth. And no, I don't feel Hispanics should be talking about black issues. I know us black people, we get it hot, we keep it popping or whatever. Everybody want to talk about us. But Hispanics got their own issues and so forth. and then seeing and what's going on in the Dominican Republic is shameful. I'm like, it is completely unacceptable, and it lets you know that we have to recognize a Hispanic can become our worst enemy real quick. I'm like, these Dominicans are just, you know, just chopping up Haitians, and there's been a conflict between the Dominicans and the Haitians for a very long time. The Dominicans, you know, they're seeking approval, you know what I'm saying, by, you know what I'm saying, the white people. I'm like, the Dominicans, they honor a statue of Christopher Columbus, and in no means are they trying to be black or try to, so, you know, talk about their African roots and things of that nature. I guess they don't want that curse. And people will say, well, a lot of Hispanics, they don't want to recognize their African heritage, but a lot of Hispanics got European heritage too. You know what I'm saying? So, and Hispanics have stated, you know, especially Dominicans, they have stated, hey, it's more beneficial to us, you know what I'm saying, if we just, you know what I mean, be Catholic, you know, and praise our European conquerors, you know, and so forth, you know, because they're a mixed breed and you know, things of that nature. So, and then there was a time when there was some Dominican Hispanic dude that, you know what I'm saying, that tried to commit a genocide against the Haitians. I forgot his name. I wish I could remember it, but I can't just conjure it up in our mind. So it lets you know, and the Dominicans, that they're just a, you know, they're just an example. But you know what I'm saying, I feel that a lot of them, you know what I'm saying, can flip out like this. You know, there used to be conflict in Cuba between the light-skinned Hispanics there, Cubans, and the dark-skinned. They had racial division. I understand that Fidel Castro, you know what I'm saying, ended all that, and they consider Fidel Castro, you know what I'm saying, you know, a bad guy. That's why America wanted to, you know what I mean, remove him from power. But Cubans, the light-skinned Cubans or whatever, they are extremely racist. You know, what they consider white Cubans and so forth. They are, I'm like, you know, and here's an example on how white society will accept the, you know, Hispanics or whatever. Take the show I Love Lucy. You know what I'm saying? You had Lucy Ball, who was married to Ricky Ricardo. Well, Ricky Ricardo was Cuban. Now, do you think back in those days, if, you know, there was a show I Love Lucy, they'll have a black man and a white woman couple, you know what I'm saying, on a sitcom doing all kind of hijinks and antics? No. So that already lets you know that Hispanics are accepted by whites, you know what I'm saying, more so than blacks. I'm sorry, I was looking for a book. There's a book. I forgot where I put it. You know, I wanted to show, but it's called 100 Years of Lynching. I talked about this book before. And in this book, there was one particular lynching where some Mexican guys, some Mexicans helped white people lynch a black guy, you know, but you don't hear about Mexicans being lynched and so forth for looking at white girls. Yeah, I understand the Mexicans, you know what I mean, they had their troubles with the white men and things of that nature, but it doesn't mean that they're exactly on our side, you know, and so forth. But I did read a story out of the book 100 Years of Lynching, where, you know, where the author just literally states that, you know, two Mexican men helped grab the black guy and tie him down for white people to get him, you know, and so forth, you know. So, and I understand that there's a difference between Hispanics from the islands and Hispanics from South of America, but you know what I'm saying, they haven't been proven to be a good ally. Hispanics, they don't you know, care too much about us, and I'm not saying that they have to, you know what I'm saying. Black people, we need to stop seeking the approval, you know, of, you know, especially the Hispanics. I'm like, they're not the type of person you really want to seek approval from. You know what I mean? When I look into their history and so forth, I'm like, they haven't accomplished merely half the stuff black people have accomplished, or created as many inventions and scientific innovations as we have. But you know what I mean, but they feel that they're better than us, and they consider it a great insult, you know, to be put in that category. I look at somebody now, here I'm going to use an ill example here. Vanessa Del Rio, the porn star there, and some people has put her, you know, say that she was black. You know, no. Vanessa Del Rio has stated that she's half Puerto Rican and half Cuban. But then people have dug up their background, and they said that her father was just a straight up black dude. You know, like she's just mixed. That, you know, that she was ashamed of her black background. But of course, she being a filthy porn star, it's good, because I definitely don't want to claim her. But you know, as a kid watching porn and knowing about Vanessa Del Rio, and I'm watching her videos, and I'm saying, man, this female is fucking crazy, taking 6 dudes at a time, sucking 2 dicks at the same time. I'm like, back in the day, she was gorgeous, she was hot, you know. And I come to the conclusion that, you know, the fact that she wasn't white, that she wanted to prove to the white man, and that she felt still inferior. You know, so she had to be crazier. She had to be more raunchy, you know what I'm saying, than the white woman or whatever. Like, she was doing crazy stuff back in the days. And now that Vanessa Del Rio is older now, and she's done for, you know, she's kind of fat or whatever, now she wants to creep over and claim the black side and claim her black roots. No, I'm not buying it. So therefore, you got to keep an eye out on Hispanics. First of all, we know exactly what a Hispanic is. When somebody says describe a Hispanic, we know what they look like. We already have it in our mind what exactly. I can understand, and Hispanic can be a white person or a black person. But the thing is, Hispanics don't go through what we go through, you know what I'm saying, with our hair, you know what I mean, with white people, you know what I'm saying. White people have deemed black people, I can understand with Donald Trump, they're trying to close down the borders. I understand that. But you know what I'm saying, but with us, black people and white people, we have a long history together, you know, a conflict, light against dark. Yeah, you know, and our conflict between white people goes far before America. It goes back to Africa. It goes back to the Paleolithic days when a lot of Hispanics didn't even exist. But that's all I want to say. Thanks for watching, and never stop learning.